As we start this journey to change what success in education means, let's question the usual ways. Should success only be about school grades, or do we need to look at other things too? Can growing culturally or personally also mean success?
I think success in education should be more than just grades. Picture a garden where each plant is different. Some love sunlight, others prefer shade. Education should let each student grow their own strengths.
Adding to that, real success is when students adapt and do well in different situations. Like how water fits into any container it enters. Education should prepare students to be flexible and strong.
I agree with both of you, and let's think about emotional intelligence too. It's like a hidden song within an orchestra, very important for harmony. Maybe success in education is also about growing these skills along with academics.
These ideas show a new way to see success. But how do we balance tests with creativity and emotional growth? Can we make a school system that includes all these things equally?
Focusing on real-world learning can be the beginning. Think about old apprenticeships like blacksmiths or artists learning by doing. Today's education could change by adding real-world problems.
Right eye. Education should be like joining puzzle pieces, subjects, skills, and experiences fitting together to form a full picture. This could change what success means today.
Building on the idea of integration, what about different cultural views? If we include stories and traditions from various cultures, we can make learning richer and widen students' views.
These views give exciting ideas. Real-world use, emotional growth, cultural richness, all key parts of this changing puzzle. As we go on, let's keep looking at how these parts fit together to make the best system. As we continue talking about education, let's think about technology's role. How is technology changing what we learn and what success means in education?
Technology can be like sunlight for education. It helps personalize learning. Students can learn in ways that suit them best. But we must ensure that technology helps and does not control education.
Technology should adjust to each learning place. Think of AI tools that help solve problems by offering different ways to learn. We must still teach students to use these tools wisely.
That's interesting, but also think about technology's role in helping emotional intelligence. It's like adding music to education. Digital tools can improve relationships and emotional growth. But we need to be careful to keep real human contact.
Technology gives us great tools, but we need a balance with real-life experiences. Virtual reality, for example, gives great learning chances but should not replace real interactions. Real-world learning is very important.
We should also focus on digital literacy. Technology in education should teach about digital rules, privacy, and understanding information, like reading and writing before. It's about making sure students are good digital citizens.
Technology can also connect classrooms worldwide. It gives students cultural views that make learning deeper. It's like opening a window to the world from their computers. But we must prevent making all cultures the same.
These ideas show technology as a tool for personal and global learning. But as we use technology, how can we make sure it helps growth and does not take over? Let's focus on the important role teachers have in education. Should teachers guide students like navigators, or be experts who share knowledge? What should their role be in education?
A good teacher is like a lighthouse. They guide students on their learning journey. They should show the choices and possibilities instead of limiting students to one path.
Guiding is important, but a teacher also needs authority to teach discipline and focus. Imagine them as artists shaping marble into a statue. Authority helps students learn basic skills they might not get on their own.
I think a teacher as a guide connects with students like a mentor. It's like a dance where the teacher knows when to lead and when to step back, letting students find their rhythm.
Working together improves learning, like an orchestra with a conductor. Teachers should find a balance between guiding and being in charge, learning from students' different views.
That a teacher's authority should become a partnership. Think of a mountain guide showing routes, letting hikers explore paths. Facing challenges alone builds strength and critical thinking.
When a teacher is a guide, they can embrace different cultures in class, like a quilt of stories. education becomes a shared experience showing many traditions.
It seems we agree that guidance and authority are both important in education, like a sailor using maps and stars to navigate. How do we make sure teachers have the skills to be both guides and authorities? As countries come together, we need to think about how it affects school curriculums. How do we add world perspectives but still keep local customs and needs? Can we balance local and global ideas?
Bringing globalization to education is like adding stars to the sky. Every culture has stories and ideas that can brighten students' minds, but we must make sure these stars respect local traditions and don't overshadow them.
I agree, Guy. Global education gives students a big map to explore different beliefs and knowledge. But we must avoid treating all cultures the same, which could make them less special instead of celebrating their diversity.
Globalization can improve learning, but we must make sure it doesn't silence local voices. It's like a concert where every instrument must be heard. Global education should highlight many cultures equally, helping students connect with their roots too.
Exactly, Sonia. Think of an art gallery with art from all over. Global education lets students enjoy many styles and ideas, but they should also add their own cultural painting to the gallery. This way, education becomes a conversation, not a single voice.
I think balance is important. Global education should be like a dish with spices from around the world. Each local spice should keep its own flavor. It should help understand different cultures without losing individual identities.
Global curriculum should make students think and ask questions. We need to teach them to see themselves as world citizens aware of global problems but still rooted in their own culture. It's like a tree with roots in local soil and branches reaching the sky.
These thoughts highlight an important part of modern education, balancing global influences with local identities. As we continue exploring, let's think about how this can create meaningful and inclusive learning for all students. Now, as we talk about the best education system, let's look at equity vs. equality. How can we handle the big differences in our education system to give everyone fair chances?
Equity is like giving each plant in a garden what it needs to grow. We should give each student what they need, not the same thing for all. This means understanding their backgrounds and learning styles.
Right, Guy. But to really have equity, we must look at the deeper problems in education, like the roots of those plants. We need to deal with money problems, language differences, and more to help all students.
Exactly. It's also about listening to what students say. Think of education like a song where every student adds a unique note. Their ideas can help us make rules that include and support them.
Your points show how important it is to change our approach to meet different needs. But how do we make sure these changes work everywhere?
We should involve the community. Communities are like branches that help a tree grow. Schools must connect with families and local resources to make education possible and lasting.
Community connections also mean learning should happen everywhere. Imagine education as a river flowing through the community, getting knowledge from different places, museums, local businesses, even neighborhood storytellers.
Yes, and as education flows through these different channels, it should help students solve global problems. It's like giving them a compass to find their way in the world based on their own backgrounds, but knowing more about the world.
These different ways create a rich picture of education, where equity means learning is open and important for all. As we go on, let's think about how technology might help equity without making the digital divide bigger. As we think about the future of education, we must combine technology, fairness, and cultural understanding. How can we create a world where each student's journey is both personal and shared?
Picture an education system where students are like artists creating their own artworks, using paths that respect their backgrounds. We need to support this creative freedom while recognizing unfairness in the system.
While artistic paths offer freedom, education should also help with real-world problems. Picture young minds as problem solvers in a maze. Each turn should bring more thinking and practical answers.
Let's not forget the balance in this artistic creation. Just like a symphony, education should balance personal expression with understanding and ethics, bringing together different voices and building knowledge.
This vision needs guidance like gardeners growing healthy habits. Teachers can inspire by fostering curiosity and respect, growing independent thinkers who value compassion and working together.
We need a global view. Imagine students as explorers, learning about the world's cultures while respecting local identities and ways, finding unity in shared and different experiences.
Let's remember the music of emotional intelligence. Just as music touches our hearts, education must encourage emotional awareness, using technology and teamwork to build understanding and support.
Our talk shows a bright future where education is a mix of experiences, each reflecting a part of our humanity. Can we find a plan that captures these ideas and aligns them with real progress?